The lights of the Las Vegas Strip glimmered like 1,000 restless stars. Inside the grand ballroom of the Silver Mirage Resort, laughter and music floated through the night as the wedding of Jessica Monroe and Ethan Ward reached its final, glittering hour. Champagne glasses clinked, the band played its last set, and the scent of roses and expensive perfume lingered in the air. Jessica stood near the balcony, her white dress catching the neon glow from outside. Her smile was radiant, but her fingers twisted the edge of her veil as though something tugged at her mind. Chloe Bennett, her maid of honor, approached with 2 glasses of champagne. "You're supposed to be the happiest woman in Nevada tonight," Chloe teased, handing her the drink. "Why do you look like you're planning your escape?" Jessica forced a laugh. "Just tired. It's been a long day." Across the room, Ethan was deep in conversation with a man Jessica didn't recognize, tall, sharp suit, slicked back hair. They spoke close, too close, like they were exchanging secrets instead of wedding congratulations. When the stranger left, Ethan's eyes briefly met Jessica's. He smiled, but it didn't quite reach his eyes. By midnight, the celebration thinned. Guests trickled out into the buzzing night of the Strip. Jessica slipped away from the ballroom, her heels clicking softly on the marble floor as she stepped into the hotel lobby. Cameras caught her figure gliding past the front desk, a bouquet still clutched in her hand. The night air hit her face, warm, electric. A taxi passed. A group of tourists laughed loudly behind her. Then, Jessica stepped off the curb and vanished. The next morning, the honeymoon suite was empty. Her wedding dress lay on the chair. Her phone was missing. Ethan Ward woke to an empty bed and a storm of unanswered questions. Within hours, Detective Lauren Pierce stood in the suite, scanning the room with practiced eyes. "No forced entry," she muttered, glancing at the open balcony door. "No signs of struggle. Either she left on her own, or someone made her want to." Ethan rubbed his temples, pale and restless. She wouldn't just disappear. Not Jessica. Lauren looked at him, really looked at him. "Everyone has a reason to run," she said quietly. "Even brides." Detective Lauren Pierce hated early mornings, but the call came before sunrise. Missing bride. High-profile hotel. Cameras caught her leaving, then, nothing. Vegas loved its mysteries, but this one smelled different. It smelled like trouble. By 7 a.m., Lauren stood in the Silver Mirage Resort surveillance room, a cramped space filled with the hum of monitors. Victor Hayes, the hotel manager, hovered behind her like a shadow. His suit was immaculate, his expression carefully neutral. "Here," the security technician said, pointing at a time-stamped feed. On the screen, Jessica Monroe appeared, bouquet in hand, veil flowing behind her as she stepped through the glass doors at 12:14 a.m. Her expression was unreadable. She glanced left, then right, then walked out of frame. Lauren leaned closer. "And after this?" "Nothing," the technician said. "We scanned every camera on the street. No sign of her getting into a car, no one followed her. She just disappeared." Victor adjusted his cufflinks. "Detective, the Silver Mirage values its reputation. This wedding was a high-profile event. Press will come knocking any minute. We'd prefer to keep this discreet." Lauren shot him a sharp look. "A woman is missing. Discreet is not my priority." Later that morning, she met Ethan Ward in the honeymoon suite again. He looked worse than the night before, unshaven, circles under his eyes. A half-empty glass of whiskey sat on the table. "When was the last time you saw her?" Lauren asked. "After the first dance," he said slowly. "She said she needed some air. I thought she went to the lobby, maybe to call her parents. I didn't follow. I didn't want to crowd her." "You didn't think it was strange your bride left her own wedding for that long?" Ethan's jaw tightened. "She's been stressed. The planning, her job, the move to Seattle next month, it's a lot." Lauren's pen tapped against her notebook. "Any fights recently?" "No. Just tension." She noticed a torn receipt on the bedside table, a late-night cash withdrawal from the hotel casino. $7,000. Time stamped just an hour before Jessica vanished. Care to explain this? She asked, holding it up. Ethan's face paled. That's mine. Old debts. I was planning to pay someone off before we left. Lauren arched an eyebrow. Debts? To whom? He didn't answer. Just stared at the floor. Outside, the neon lights of Las Vegas were fading into daylight, but Lauren knew one thing: this was no simple runaway bride case. Somewhere between the glitter and the shadows, someone was lying. The Las Vegas Strip was still buzzing when Detective Lauren Pierce stepped out into the morning heat. The neon signs flickered in retreat against the rising sun, like ghosts of the night before. Her thoughts circled back to Ethan Ward. A groom with a gambling history and a missing bride, it was almost too neat. By noon, she called him down to the police station for an official statement. Ethan arrived wearing the same suit jacket from the wedding, the boutonniere wilted and forgotten. His hands trembled as he clutched a bottle of water. "Sit down, Mr. Ward," Lauren said, gesturing to the chair. "We're trying to find your wife. This is your chance to help." "She's my fiancée," he corrected softly, eyes downcast. "Technically, we didn't sign the papers yet." Lauren noted that. "Not legally married." "Interesting." She spread a series of photographs across the table: Jessica on the surveillance footage, the empty street beyond the hotel, the casino receipt. "Why didn't you mention the $7,000 you withdrew the night she disappeared?" Ethan's jaw worked silently before he answered. "I owed a man. From before I met Jessica. He came to the wedding. I didn't want her to know." Lauren leaned forward. "Who was he?" "I don't know his real name. They call him Reed. Tall, dark suit. He said if I didn't pay, there would be consequences." "Consequences for you, or for her?" Ethan's face twisted. "You think I'd hurt her? I love Jessica." Lauren didn't flinch. "Love doesn't erase motive." She let the silence stretch until it became uncomfortable. Ethan finally spoke again, voice low. "She was acting strange. 4 weeks. Checking her phone all the time, going outside to make calls. I thought it was just wedding stress." Lauren scribbled in her notebook. "Secret calls. Debt collectors at the wedding. Bride disappears." When Ethan left, Chloe Bennett appeared at the station, her sunglasses hiding red-rimmed eyes. "Detective, I can't believe this is happening. Jessica isn't the type to run." Lauren studied her. "Then what type is she?" Chloe hesitated. "The type who keeps things bottled up." There was something on her mind. "She wouldn't tell me." Lauren tapped her pen. Two people close to her, both claiming ignorance. Both hiding pieces of the puzzle. That night, Lauren drove past the Mirage again. The Strip was alive with its usual chaos: music, laughter, secrets traded under the glow of 1,000 lights. Somewhere out there, a bride was missing. And someone, perhaps very close to her, already knew why. The neon haze returned with nightfall. The Strip roared to life once again, as if the city had no memory of the bride who had walked into its arms and never returned. Detective Lauren Pierce parked across from the Silver Mirage Resort, watching streams of tourists spill from casinos, their pockets lighter, their smiles forced. Chloe Bennett had agreed to meet her at a late-night cafe on Fremont Street, not the most glamorous corner of Vegas, but one far from the cameras and the glitter. Chloe arrived in a tight black dress, her blonde hair swept over one shoulder. Sunglasses hid her eyes even at night. "You wanted to talk off the record," Lauren said, stirring her coffee. "That usually means secrets." Chloe exhaled smoke from her slim cigarette. Jessica was complicated. She made everyone think she was perfect, but she had this side nobody saw. Lauren leaned in. "What side?" "She owed someone money," Chloe whispered. "I don't know the details, but she mentioned it once, months ago." Said it was taken care of. Lauren's brow furrowed. Money? Ethan said he was the one with debts. Ethan's a gambler, Chloe said with a bitter laugh. But Jessica, she was in over her head with something else. I thought it was a loan for her event business. Maybe worse. Lauren tapped her nails on the table. Why didn't you mention this yesterday? Chloe's lips curled into a faint, almost guilty smile. Because I thought she'd just run away. She talked about starting over, somewhere no one knew her. Lauren caught the flicker in Chloe's voice, envy, perhaps even relief. You were in love with Ethan, she said flatly. Chloe froze. What? No. That's ridiculous. Lauren didn't press further. Where were you between midnight and 1 a.m. after the wedding? Chloe stubbed out her cigarette. I went for a walk. Too much champagne. The strip helps clear my head. Too vague. Too convenient. Later that night, Lauren requested additional security footage, not from the hotel, but from the streets 2 blocks away. There, blurry and grainy, a woman in a white dress appeared at 12:19 a.m., walking fast, bouquet gone, clutching something in her hand, a phone, perhaps. And behind her, a second figure, keeping distance. Lauren's pulse quickened. It wasn't Ethan. It wasn't Chloe. It was someone else. The silver mirage looked calm under the blazing Nevada sun, but Detective Lauren Pierce knew appearances in this city were paper-thin. That afternoon, she received a package at her office, no return address, no name. Inside, a flash drive. The files contained were encrypted, but the label on the folder was simple, J.M. Jessica Monroe. Lauren leaned back in her chair. Who sent this? And why now? After an hour of decryption through the department's cyber unit, the contents appeared, dozens of emails, each more unsettling than the last. Jessica had been in contact with someone under the name M. The tone was cautious, desperate. I can't keep paying them forever. The wedding will change everything. After that, I'm gone. Meet me the night before. One last transfer. Lauren scrolled further. The messages dated back 6 months, before the engagement party, before Ethan had even proposed. She called Chloe Bennett immediately. Did Jessica ever mention someone named Amar? A pause. No, but she had this separate phone. Kept it locked all the time. Said it was for work. Lauren's gut tightened. Work, or something else? That evening, she walked the strip alone, the neon buzzing like angry hornets above her head. The crowd blurred past, gamblers, tourists, street performers, hustlers. Vegas was a city that swallowed people whole and left only echoes. Her phone buzzed, a message from an unknown number. A photo appeared. Grainy, taken in low light. Jessica, same wedding dress, same bouquet, standing in a parking lot outside the city limits. Next to a black SUV. No timestamp. No location. Lauren's heart pounded. Someone's playing a game. Someone who knows where she went. The desert outside Las Vegas was a world away from the neon glow, endless sand, whispering wind, and a horizon that swallowed secrets whole. Detective Lauren Pierce followed the GPS coordinates traced from the anonymous photo. The black SUV in the image had no plates visible, but traffic cameras had caught a glimpse of it leaving the city at 12:28 a.m. the night Jessica vanished. Lauren parked her unmarked car near an abandoned gas station 30 miles north of the strip. The place smelled of rust and sun-baked asphalt. Tire tracks crisscrossed the dirt like veins, some fresh, some weeks old. She crouched down, her fingers brushing the sand. A scrap of white fabric fluttered near the fence. She lifted it carefully, silk, torn, and unmistakably from a wedding dress. Her radio crackled. Pierce, you sure about this? It was Officer Ramirez, watching from the car. We're way out of jurisdiction. I'm sure, Lauren said, pocketing the fabric. She was here. A sudden sound. The growl of an engine. Lauren's eyes snapped to the far edge of the station. A dark SUV, dust trailing behind, appeared for a brief moment before vanishing into the desert road. Too far for a plate. Too fast. She raised her phone and snapped a shot. Blurry. But the same silhouette. Back in the city, she confronted Ethan Ward with the find. He stared at the photo, lips dry. "I don't know that car," he muttered. "I swear." "Your debts say otherwise," Lauren replied coldly. "Whoever you owed, they wanted leverage. A bride is a good bargaining chip." Ethan slammed his hand on the table. "If they wanted ransom, why haven't they called? Why hasn't anyone asked for money?" Lauren didn't answer. Because in her gut, this didn't feel like ransom anymore. This felt like something else, a trade, a secret, a message left in the sand. That night, the torn silk lay on her desk, illuminated by a single lamp. The case was no longer just a disappearance. It was a trail leading straight into the desert, and someone was still out there, watching her follow it. The evidence room smelled of dust and paper. Under the harsh fluorescent lights, the torn silk scrap lay sealed in a plastic bag. Detective Lauren Pierce stared at it, turning the piece over in her mind. A fragment of Jessica Monroe's wedding dress, proof she had made it far beyond the strip. Proof she hadn't just walked away. The following morning brought a break. A truck driver named Carl Jenkins walked into the Las Vegas Police Department. His hands were calloused, his face tanned by the desert sun. "I think I saw her," he said. "The bride." Lauren motioned him to sit. "Start from the beginning." "I was heading east on Route 95, around midnight. Stopped at an old gas station, the one they shut down last year. There was this black SUV parked out front. Looked out of place. And there she was, white dress, veil, standing by the pump. Looked scared." Lauren leaned forward. "Did she say anything to you?" He shook his head. "No." I waved, but a man came out of the SUV. Tall, dark jacket. He put his hand on her shoulder. She didn't resist, just got in the car. By the time I pulled out my phone, they were gone. "Could you describe the man?" "Mid-40s, maybe. Beard. Didn't look like a groom, if you ask me." Lauren showed him a photo of Ethan Ward. Carl squinted, then shook his head. "Nope. Different guy." After he left, Lauren felt the case shift like desert sand beneath her feet. It wasn't just about debts or cold feet anymore. Jessica had been with someone willingly, or under pressure, and Ethan wasn't the man. That afternoon, a call came in from the forensics lab. They had analyzed the silk scrap. Trace elements of gasoline and sand matched the abandoned station. But there was something else, faint traces of an industrial cleaning solvent used in garages. Lauren's mind raced. A garage, a black SUV, a mysterious man. The puzzle pieces were starting to align, just not into a picture she liked. She pinned the fabric on her board beside the photo of Jessica. The white silk looked ghostly against the neon-lit skyline of Las Vegas on the wall map. Somewhere, that missing bride was either running from someone, or being kept from ever coming back. Detective Lauren Pierce had learned long ago that in Las Vegas, nothing was ever as it seemed. But even she wasn't prepared for the twist that came that afternoon. The Silver Mirage Resort had called again, this time claiming an anonymous tip: Jessica Monroe had been spotted at a casino downtown. Lauren felt a jolt of hope, but something about the message rang hollow. She arrived at the casino with Officer Ramirez in tow. Security cameras showed a figure in a white dress wandering near the blackjack tables around midnight. But as they zoomed in, Lauren noticed the details didn't match. The veil was wrong, the hairstyle different. A stranger had been used to fake a sighting. Lauren turned to Victor Hayes, who had accompanied them under protest. His expression was polished, but his hands were tense. "We just wanted to help," he said smoothly. "The city is big. People see things all the time. Could be anyone." Lauren's gaze sharpened. Or maybe someone wanted the police looking in the wrong direction. Later, at the precinct, she cross-checked the vehicle logs. The black SUV that Carl Jenkins reported had passed through a checkpoint the same night, but the license plate didn't exist. Victor Hayes' tone replayed in her head. The city is big. Could be anyone. Could it really? Then came another surprise. Chloe Bennett called. "Lauren. I think I know where Jessica might be," she whispered, urgency in her voice. "Meet me tonight. I have information she wouldn't want Ethan to know." Lauren arrived at the agreed location, an empty parking garage under a deserted mall. Chloe was already there, pacing. "I didn't want to involve anyone else," she said, lowering her voice. "But there's a man, someone Jessica met in secret. I saw them together once at a private party. He's dangerous. I think he's the one keeping her." Lauren's eyes narrowed. "And you're just telling me this now because..." Chloe hesitated. "I didn't want anyone to find out I knew. And, maybe I wanted to protect her. Or maybe... I'm afraid he'd come after me if I spoke." Lauren felt the case shift again. The black SUV, the false sightings, Chloe's hesitation, it wasn't just a disappearance. Someone was actively manipulating the trail. And the deeper Lauren dug, the more it became clear, someone close to the investigation had their own motives. The city's neon lights reflected off the concrete walls. Vegas was a maze of lies, and Jessica Monroe was trapped somewhere in its shadows. Detective Lauren Pierce had followed countless false leads, but tonight, the desert air carried a truth she could almost touch. A tip from an anonymous source led her to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Henderson, east of Las Vegas. Dust swirled in the moonlight, and the black SUV from the surveillance photos rested quietly under a broken street lamp. Lauren moved carefully, flashlight cutting through the shadows. She could hear the distant hum of the strip, incongruously cheerful against the tense silence here. Inside, the warehouse smelled of gasoline and metal. Her heart thudded. Somewhere in this cavern of rust and debris, Jessica Monroe was waiting. A muffled voice called out. "Lauren?" It was tentative, fearful. "Jessica." Lauren quickened her steps, spotting her, the wedding dress torn, a small bloodstain on the hem. Relief and alarm collided. Jessica was not alone. A man emerged from the shadows, mid-40s, beard stubbled, sharp eyes. The same Amar from her emails. His presence radiated menace. "You shouldn't have come here," he said softly, almost regretfully. "She's fragile." Lauren didn't flinch. "Step away from her. Now." Mr's gaze flicked to Jessica. "You don't understand. I'm protecting her." "Protecting? By kidnapping her?" Lauren's voice was steel. The man's expression softened, almost pleading. "Ethan was never meant to know the truth. Jessica owes me, it's complicated. I promised her safety, from people like him, from debts she didn't understand herself." Lauren's mind raced. Debt collector? Protector? What twisted arrangement is this? Jessica stepped forward, trembling. "Detective, please. I ran because I had to. I couldn't let him find out what I had done, the money, the mistakes. I wasn't afraid of Ethan. I was afraid of him. Of all of it." Lauren nodded slowly. "We'll sort it out. But he's not keeping you here any longer." Mr hesitated, then stepped back. Lauren seized the moment, cuffing him quickly. Jessica stumbled into her arms, shaking, exhausted. The desert night seemed to exhale around them, the neon lights of Las Vegas faintly visible in the distance like a promise of normalcy. But Lauren knew this wasn't over. The motives, the secrets, the betrayals, they were only beginning to unravel. And someone in Jessica's life had already set the stage for the next twist. The dawn light seeped into the Silver Mirage Resort, painting the strip in soft gold. Detective Lauren Pierce escorted Jessica Monroe back into the city, the hum of morning traffic a gentle contrast to the chaos of the night before. Jessica's hands trembled as she adjusted the remnants of her wedding dress. "I can't believe it's over," she whispered. Lauren kept a watchful eye on Ethan Ward, who had been called to meet them at the hotel. When he saw her, relief and confusion washed over his face. "Jessica," he began, but she held up a hand. "No. We need honesty first," Jessica said firmly. "There are things you don't know. Debts I tried to handle, people I feared, and choices I made to protect us both." Ethan's jaw tightened. "Why didn't you tell me? We could have faced it together." Jessica looked at him, eyes fierce. "Because I didn't want you to be in danger. Someone like him doesn't just threaten me. He can destroy anyone close to me." Lauren observed the exchange silently, sensing the final pieces fall into place. Jessica had orchestrated a careful disappearance to buy time, to untangle her secret debts, and ensure that Ethan and Chloe remained unharmed. The black SUV, the deserted warehouse, the silent fear, it was a calculated risk, not a random abduction. Chloe Bennett appeared at the suite shortly after, eyes wide, as Lauren filled her in. Relief mingled with guilt, she had almost been a pawn in Jessica's shadow game. Jessica turned to Lauren. "Thank you. You didn't just find me, you understood what was at stake." Lauren allowed herself a rare smile. "Vegas doesn't give up its secrets easily. Neither did you." Later, in the privacy of the honeymoon suite, Ethan and Jessica sat together, hands intertwined. "We'll start over," he said quietly. "No lies. No secrets." Jessica nodded. "No secrets. But Vegas, it has its way of leaving marks." Lauren left the suite with the knowledge that the city's neon lights would keep flickering, hiding stories in shadows. But for now, the bride had returned, the case closed, a tale of fear, cunning, and courage that would become another whispered legend of the Strip.